I go to London. Chapter 1. The Decision. Emma had always dreamed of visiting London. The bustling streets, the historic landmarks, the red double-decker buses. It all seemed like a world away from her quiet life in a small coastal town. She had saved for years, working extra shifts at the local bookstore, denying herself small luxuries just to afford the trip. One evening, as she sat by her window watching the rain patter against the glass, she made up her mind. She booked a one-way ticket to London. Why one way? Her best friend, Sarah, had asked. Because I don't know how long I'll want to stay, Emma replied with a smile. Chapter 2. The Arrival. The flight was long, and Emma barely slept. When the plane finally descended through the clouds, her heart pounded as she caught her first glimpse of London. Endless rows of buildings, the winding Thames, and in the distance, the towering London Eye. Stepping out of Heathrow Airport, she was immediately engulfed in the city's rhythm. The hum of traffic, the chatter of strangers, the scent of rain on pavement. It was overwhelming and exhilarating. She took the tube to her rented flat in Camden, a small but cozy space above a vintage record store. The owner, an elderly man named Mr. Higgins, greeted her warmly. First time in London? He asked. Yes, Emma said, barely containing her excitement. Well, you're in for an adventure. Next. Chapter 3. Lost and Found. On her first morning, Emma set out to explore. She wanted to see everything. Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, the Tower of London. But as she wandered through the maze of streets, she realized she had taken a wrong turn. Instead of the grand landmarks, she found herself in a quiet, narrow alley lined with bookshops and cafes. A small sign caught her eye. The Whispering Pages, Rare and Forgotten Books. Curious, she stepped inside. The shop was dimly lit, filled with the scent of old paper and leather. Behind the counter stood a young man with dark hair and sharp green eyes. Lost? He asked, smirking. A little, Emma admitted. Most people are when they find this place, he said. I'm Daniel. Chapter 4. Unexpected Connections. Daniel turned out to be a historian with a passion for London's hidden stories. Instead of rushing to the usual tourist spots, Emma spent her first week following his suggestions. Secret gardens, underground tunnels, and forgotten cemeteries. One evening, as they sat by the Thames watching the sunset, Daniel told her about his research on a lost manuscript rumored to be hidden somewhere in the city. It's said to contain secrets about London's past, he said. No one's ever found it. Emma's eyes sparkled. Maybe we could look for it together? Daniel grinned. I was hoping you'd say that. Chapter 5. The Search Begins. Their search took them through libraries, antique shops, and even the catacombs beneath an old church. Along the way, Emma fell deeper in love, not just with London, but with Daniel's passion for its history. One rainy afternoon, in the basement of an old bookstore, Emma stumbled upon a hidden compartment inside a dusty shelf. Inside was a leather-bound journal. Daniel, I think I found it. Chapter 6. A Choice to Make. The manuscript revealed long-forgotten tales of London's past, confirming Daniel's theories. But as their discovery gained attention, Emma received an unexpected offer. A publishing house wanted her to write a book about her journey. The catch? She'd have to stay in London indefinitely. That night, she stood on Waterloo Bridge, staring at the city lights. She thought of her quiet hometown, her family, her old life. But then she thought of Daniel, of the adventures they'd shared, of the stories still waiting to be uncovered. Chapter 7. A New Beginning. The next morning, Emma called Sarah. I'm not coming back, she said. Not yet, anyway. Sarah laughed. I knew you wouldn't. Emma met Daniel at their favorite cafe. When she told him her decision, he took her hand. So, where to next? Explorer? She smiled. Wherever the story takes us. Years later, Emma's book became a bestseller. She and Daniel opened their own bookstore, filling it with rare finds and untold stories. And every now and then, when the rain fell softly over London, Emma would remember the day she arrived. A girl with a dream, who found more than she ever imagined. Chapter 8, The Manuscript's Secret. The manuscript was fragile, its pages yellowed with age. Daniel handled it with reverence, carefully turning each leaf under the dim glow of a desk lamp in his cluttered apartment. Emma watched as his eyes scanned the elegant, looping script, a mix of English and Latin, with sketches of landmarks long altered by time. This isn't just a historical account, Daniel murmured. It's a map. Look. He pointed to a series of symbols in the margins. A crescent moon beside the Tower of London. A key sketched near Westminster Abbey. These aren't random. They're clues. Emma's pulse quickened. To what? Daniel grinned. Something hidden. Maybe treasure. Maybe something even more valuable. Next. Chapter 9. The first clue, the tower's shadow. Their first stop was the Tower of London. According to the manuscript, something had been concealed near the raven's perch where the shadow kisses stone at moonrise. They arrived just before dusk, blending in with the last of the day's tourists. As the sky darkened, they lingered near the raven enclosures. There, Emma whispered. The setting sun cast a long shadow from one of the towers, stretching toward an ancient oak. At its base, barely visible beneath centuries of moss, was a small, circular indentation, just the size of a coin. Daniel pulled a tarnished old penny from his pocket, one he'd found tucked inside the manuscript. He pressed it into the groove. With a soft click, a hidden compartment in the tree's trunk slid open. Inside was a rusted iron key. Chapter 10. A warning in the Abbey. The next clue led them to Westminster Abbey. The manuscript spoke of the silent saint who guards the way. They combed through the Abbey's labyrinthine corridors until Emma paused before a weathered statue of a saint, his finger pointing downward. Beneath his feet, almost invisible in the dim light, was a Latin inscription. Qui querit, inveniat, he who seeks, shall find, Daniel translated. As Emma traced the letters, her fingers brushed a loose stone. It shifted. Behind it lay a folded slip of parchment, a warning in the same hand as the manuscript. Beware the keeper of secrets. Not all wish them uncovered. Daniel frowned. Someone didn't want this found. Chapter 11. The Mysterious Stranger. That night, as they left a pub near the Thames, Emma noticed a man watching them from across the street. Tall, with a long coat and a hat pulled low. When she nudged Daniel, the man slipped into an alleyway. Did you see that? She asked. Daniel's expression darkened. We're being followed. They quickened their pace, ducking into crowded streets. But the stranger seemed to always be just out of sight. When they finally reached Emma's flat, Daniel hesitated at the door. Maybe we should stop digging, he said. Emma crossed her arms after coming this far? No way. Daniel sighed. Then we need to be careful. Chapter 12. The Underground Chamber. The final clue pointed to a disused underground station. One sealed off decades ago. Down where the trains no longer run. Beneath the city's beating heart, the manuscript read. With some discreet inquiries, and a few pints bought for a retired tube worker, they learned of a hidden entrance near Holborn Station. The tunnel was damp, the air thick with dust. Their flashlight beams cut through the darkness, revealing faded advertisements from the 1920s. Then, they found it. A door marked with the same crescent moon symbol from the manuscript. The key from the tower fit perfectly. Inside was a small chamber, its walls covered in intricate carvings. At its center stood an ornate wooden chest. Emma held her breath as Daniel lifted the lid. Inside lay not gold or jewels, but something far more precious. A collection of letters, diaries, and sketches documenting London's forgotten stories. Love letters from a wartime spy. Blueprints of buildings never constructed. Even a lost play by Shakespeare. This is priceless, Daniel breathed. Chapter 13. The Keeper's Wrath. A voice echoed from the tunnel. I warned you to stop. The stranger from before stepped into the light. His face now visible. An older man with sharp, calculating eyes. My family has guarded these secrets for generations, he said. They were never meant to be found. Emma stood her ground. They belong to the world. The man's gaze flickered to the chest. Some truths are dangerous. A tense silence followed. Then, unexpectedly, the man sighed. Perhaps you're right, but promise me one thing. Handle them with care. With that, he turned and vanished into the shadows. Chapter 14. A New Purpose. The discovery made headlines. Historians clamored to study the artifacts. And Emma and Daniel were hailed as modern-day explorers. But for Emma, the real treasure wasn't fame. It was the realization that London still held infinite mysteries. One evening, as they stood on the rooftop of Daniel's apartment, the city sprawled before them. He turned to her. What now? Emma smiled. We keep searching. There's always another story. And as the lights of London twinkled below, she knew this was only the beginning.